Nando's was once one of the most popular chains in the UK, and since mid-2010s, after Ed Sheeran example started singing that Nando's skank song,
Are you gonna bang? Don't know. I want some Nando's. Chicken wings.
it has been in a slow decline ever since then, and in recent times they've just got worse and worse. Nando's was founded in Johannesburg in South Africa in 1987, and it was named after one of its founders, Fernando Duttier. I believe I have pronounced that incorrectly, but I'm here to visit the worst rated Nando's in the country, and that is located in Swindon. Beautiful, beautiful Swindon. Like usual, before we head into any establishment, I'm going to read out a couple of the worst TripAdvisor reviews. Starting off with Paul C. Always missing items. Why do I waste time using this Nando's? They always miss at least one item. This time it was only the corn, so well and truly fed up with them. I would be fed up as well, Paul, to be honest with you, especially missing out on the corn. NS. Never again. Ordered lunch from Orbital Nando's. Food tasted fine, but now myself and 3 other colleagues have come down with mega sharts.
Disgusting!
Absolutely not okay. We'll never order here again. I hope I haven't got mega sharts later on. Next one. Escape 095716851335. Terrible service. Food took 2 hours to come and it was cold. Was told a 45-minute wait. Everyone around came and went and we are still waiting. That is terrible. To be fair, a few of my friends have come recently and they've said it is absolutely terrible. So I'm hoping it lives up to the terrible name. OG. Awful. I wish I could give this place 0 stars. My previous negative review was deleted either by the establishment or by TripAdvisor. This is a terrible place, staff not very attentive, and I recommend saving your money and going elsewhere. Well, I'm spending my money here because I'm making a solid video about the worst rated Nando's. WebH, I would not recommend. This place was filthy, food on the floor, at the till, under the table. Food took an hour to arrive, only to be told one side was not available, so I had to wait another 15 minutes for it to come, only then because we asked where it was. Terrible service. I've eaten here a few times and personally I actually didn't think it was too bad, but it must have probably gone downhill recently. Like, it is crazy. But obviously we're going to rate it in 3 different categories: how clean the establishment is, how long the food takes, and how good the food actually is. Because going by those reviews, we could be in for a long old wait. I'm unsure what to actually order, but I think we just get obviously a meal with 2 sides and a drink. But as I'm filming this video the other day, the UK shite government have brought out a law that you can't refill bloody beverages. So me getting a bottomless drink might mean I'm actually not getting, I might just get 1 drink, if you know what I mean. Did I bring that across properly? Maybe not. But anyways, let's head into Nando's. Initial thoughts, it's actually really loud in here, music wise. Sadly, I'm going to have to voice over some of this whilst I'm eating and whilst I'm ordering this food, purely because the music was so loud I can't even express to you. But now's the perfect time to subscribe if you haven't already. So obviously went in, got seated. Initial thoughts sitting down, the seats weren't exactly clean or very nice. There was a bit of crumbs on the floor, a bit of crumbs on the table. I'm not quite too sure how that's even possible because Nando's only opened like 20 minutes before I went in, something like that anyway. So the food I went for a double chicken wrap with peri-peri sauce. Never had it before, so I thought I'd try it. Regular peri salted chips, regular spicy rice, and a bottomless Dr. Pepper Zero. And to your surprise, I can still get multiple refills, which was good. And there's no such thing as a cheap Nando's anymore because that cost me £22.70. And I ordered that at 11:45. Once again, I just want to say how loud this music is. I don't know how it's going to be picked up on camera, but if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody around the table, you almost have to shout. It's already been 10 minutes and I've not even received my glass for a drink yet. It's not going well. 11:57. 3 minutes later, food has actually just turned up, but it's just come with a glass. So as you've seen, I managed to get some clips on how long the food takes, etc, etc. So now I'm going to scran the food. The wrap was actually spot on. I could not fault that. It was nice and juicy. Chicken wasn't dry. The sauce was actually really good. Lettuce was nice and crunchy. It was just a good round wrap. The peri salted chips, absolutely spot on. They had just the amount of right of peri salt on it. Not too much, not too little. Absolute spot on. And now the rice. Admittedly, I made a massive mistake getting the rice because I'm not a spicy guy, and it was quite spicy. Also, it was quite dry. I thought about getting some sauce, but I thought, no, I'm just going to have it plain, purely because I want to see how the food come out as it was. All finished up. Let's get back to the car and I'll review it in there because it is simply too loud in here. Obviously, I ventured in the toilets and the music was even louder in there. It was an actual joke. Where do I even start with that? That was... The food was okay, but the whole general experience was terrible. Like, why didn't the glass not come out first with the drink? I've never had that before. And the music, oh my god, the music was so loud. As I said, if you had somebody sat opposite you having food, you'd almost have to shout at them for them to be able to hear, because the music was so loud. It was so off-putting. That's why I just wanted to scram the food and get out of there. Now let's get down to how I'm going to score this establishment. First off, how clean was it? I think just because it hadn't recently opened, it was relatively clean. But at the same time, because it had just recently opened, it was actually still dirty in some places. Like the table I got sat on, the footage might not be able to show it properly, but I had all crumbs over the table. There's crumbs on the floor, and I was like, what? How was that even possible? Surely somebody couldn't have even sat there in between me coming in and them opening it. That's what I don't understand. So for that factor, I'm going to have to score them straight at a 5 out of 10. Purely because how can it be that dirty even though they've only been open for like 20 minutes? So cleaners, do a better job. How long did it take? It took, what, 13 minutes? Which honestly wasn't too bad, but there was only 6 other people in there, I believe. So yeah, 13 minutes I think is really good. But what I didn't like is why the glass didn't come out, you know, more or less when I ordered it, instead of it come out with my food, which I could have done with a nice cold beveragino before obviously left. So how am I going to score the timing of it? I think it was quite good for how quick it actually was, to be fair. It took 13 minutes, as I said. The only bit is downfall was not having that glass, which really I could have asked for, but why should I have to? But at the same time, as I say, I could have done. So I'm going to score the time a solid 7, because it wasn't that fast, but nor was it that quick. It was just like, it was just a good score time. The only bit that does let it down, as I say, is the glass. And it's good to see it's still bottomless. Obviously, it hasn't come into that Nando's yet. So how am I going to score the food? The wrap was really good, nice and juicy. It was called the sauce was called a garlic tamara, something like that. And it was absolutely spot on. I can't fault that. The wrap was banging. Chips were absolutely spot on as well. You know, there was a good amount of peri-peri salt. Not too much, not too little, just the chef's kiss amount. And the rice, I probably shouldn't have gone for the rice because I'm not a big spicy guy, but because I wanted to try something different, I went for the spicy rice basically. And it was a bit dry, and it was spicy to me. So it wasn't the best, and that's my own fault for choosing that. I should have just gone for a garlic bread or something like that. So how am I going to score the food? I'm probably going to score the food a 7 out of 10. It could have been better. It's only that score purely because I made a mistake with the rice, I think. I think that's the only reason. So that's the worst rated Nando's visited in the UK, or in my country. And if you want to see me do more things like this, more lowest rated restaurants, fast food places, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe because it helps out massively. And we'll see you in the next one.